Good morning, come spend the day with me. Today we are recording the podcast, and if you're new here, I co-host the Oi Let's Talk podcast with my best friend Kate. Recently number 5 on the health and fitness charts, which is super exciting. I also own my own health and fitness business, Uplift Movement, and I want to share with you the behind the scenes of growing and supporting my clients online. And I also have my own health and fitness goals, so I also want to share how I stay really consistent with gym and with nutrition. So let's go. Parked at the podcast studio, and I want to give you a bit of a rundown of my morning and also like what it looks like planning and filming the podcast. So first things first, I'm having brekkie in my car. That is not normal, but I made my breakfast this morning, which was 2 eggs and protein oats, and I looked at the maps and it said that traffic was really bad, so I honestly would rather just have brekkie in my car when I'm parked nearby so I'm not late, because I hate being late. I don't think it's a good energy to start a podcast on with chaos and also not being very regulated, so I'd rather just have calm energy before filming the potty. Now, before brekkie, I did my upper body workout and a bit of a rundown on how my training sessions look at the moment. All year, I followed the same split, and it is a 4-day training program with 1 upper body day, 2 lower body days, and 1 posterior session. And posterior is a combination of hamstring, back, and glute, so everything behind us, and I love that combination. The sessions take about 50 minutes, and there's about 5 or 6 exercises per session, and I always add in a little bit of core at the end. That's my preference, and I'm just really enjoying that split at the moment. I haven't missed a session all year, which feels really good. Now, in terms of workouts, a snapshot of my program, but today I had chin-ups, I did a shoulder press, I also did a seated row and lateral raises, tricep work, and a lat pull down, so a fun session for me. Now, before we film the potty, we always pre-organize what we're going to talk about. I think one of the things that Kate and I do really well is we're always looking to improve and refine and grow, and I think that's honestly why the podcast has been successful, is because I feel like between the two of us we're an unstoppable force. We always look at what's working and continue to refine that, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to do 4 episodes back to back, super organized with what's going to go down. We've got some exciting announcements and things to talk about on the potty, which I don't want to spoil, so you'll have to tune in to see what's happening there. And also, we're running our first event in April, which we announced yesterday, and I'm so proud of us. We've already sold over 50% of the tickets. So if you're watching this and you've decided to come to the event, I'm so excited for you, and I'm just honestly stoked with the amount of love we've had on that event. So let's go. Hi. Alrighty, we just finished filming 4 episodes back to back. How did we go?
Slayed it.
Absolutely killed it. We're on a bit of a roll. It's just like we're really efficient by this point.
I think we just like lock in.
We do.
Something switches in our brain and we just get it done.
Also, we just got the best feedback that we are really organized, which is honestly top tier and all I needed to hear for the day. We're just in there, bam, 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 4 episodes, and then we're done. Go us. Now we're going to eat.
I'm starving.
Bye. Back home now, and as soon as I got home, I made a big batch of gnocchi. I always like to make extra whenever I'm cooking, so then it's kind of just like the next meal is sorted, so I'll have that for lunch tomorrow. Then I felt like I neglected the dogs for a couple hours because they're so used to me being home all the time. Just sat on the couch and started editing this vlog because I find that content creation takes time. Like, I know it's not going to be comparable to, someone doing like a labor intensive job or anything like that, but it's still, it's still time consuming, and a lot goes into this, more than people probably think. So I like to try to do it as I go, so then there's just less, it just takes less time when I sit down to do the final edit. Started doing that. I always do client replies throughout the day. My one-on-one clients message me on WhatsApp as our primary method of communication, going back and forth there if anyone needs support, program updates, and then sending through some feedback based on form videos and things like that. That's what I've been doing so far. Now that I'm back in this room, I'm going to create content because that's a huge part of marketing your business online. Bit of an FYI for anyone who's in a similar, service-based industry, maybe you're in health and fitness or you're just doing some other small business. I find that batching content works really well, and just trying to, one, you need to know who you're speaking to. That's super important. But once you've got that nailed, I, in my notes, will put down ideas that I get throughout the week when I'm not in the mood potentially to create content. And then when I do have time, like I block out time and prioritize prioritize it every week, I'll have just like a running list of ideas to work off. And I find that this really helps with, you know, putting good content out there, always having stuff to post. And that's part of what I'll do today. So I'll probably spend, you know, 30 minutes filming some content, and then I'll schedule it. And then this afternoon, I will finish off with client replies, program updates, and for my group girlies, so I have a group program, I have been doing Technique Tuesday. So I post a in-depth video breaking down either mindset, nutrition, training, or some sort of technique in the gym. I'm gonna edit and post that soon. Then I'm gonna have dinner. I haven't decided what I'm gonna have yet, which is, you know, rogue for me, but I'm thinking I'm either gonna have 2 big wraps. That's option 1. Option 2, like a prawn stir fry. And option 3, depending on what I've got, I might make like a teriyaki, cucumber, Japanese inspired type of bowl. So I have a couple options, but neither of those things should take longer than 30 minutes. And with most of the things that I cook, you know, my biggest focus is keeping it simple, things that are tasty, and things that are quick to make. So you really don't need to overcomplicate the nutrition front. So I'll have one of those options, and then I'm really trying to wind down a bit earlier at night. What that looks like is just getting off my laptop, ideally at a decent time, trying to limit social media a bit more, you know, having a shower and doing skincare, and then just chilling out for a couple hours, and then trying to go to bed at like 9 p.m. That's what I will do tonight, and then it's time to get into some work. We're rapidly losing daylight, but I just cooked dinner and I'm going to go through what I made. So it's not the most aesthetically pleasing meal, but I know that it will be really tasty. A lot of good stuff in there, 40 grams of protein. So I have 2 pita pockets, then I have sweet chili prawns, which I just got from Coles pre-marinated. And I just put a bunch of stuff that I like in there, like red onion, Sicilian olives, red capsicum, and a few other goodies. And then I have a chili sauce and a Nando sauce. So that'll be really tasty. I also have a kombucha and some raspberries. So that's going to be dinner done, and I'm excited about that. When I was working away before, I was really thinking about the fact that social media, especially with business and with fitness, shows a lot of the highlight reel. You don't really see people posting online about reconciling payments or any of the admin and boring stuff, but this is just a reminder that all of that stuff everyone's doing all of that stuff behind the scenes. They're just not posting about it, and that unsexy work that we do every week is needed to have all of the wins and all of the other cool stuff that you see people post about. As I said, the business highlight reel. When I was training this morning, I was thinking how much I don't rely on motivation, and I also spoke about this in one of our recent podcast episodes. And I know that you guys ask me all the time, how are you so motivated? But I wanted to quickly get into the mindset, how I don't actually feel like I'm motivated, but what I rely on instead. Honestly, having structure, having routine, and having a program to follow really help me stay consistent with the gym, because it's less mental load, less things to think about. Let's use the example of if I started every week and I'm like, when am I going to train? What am I going to do? Those thoughts kind of weigh you down, and it makes it harder to get it done. Versus because I have a plan to follow, I try to train at consistent times, I have all of that structure and good stuff that I genuinely look forward to, and it frees up that space in my brain. Just get it done, and it feels the same as like brushing your teeth. It feels like a normal part of my week, and that is not motivation, that is habit. And if you're someone who's struggling with consistency, that is what I would look at improving. Lastly, I just wanted to remind you that some weeks go to plan and others don't. Like for example, last week on Tuesday, I drove to the gym, my car was making a weird sound, I had a completely flat tire, there was a ripple effect of things that didn't go to plan for me and for Ben last week, and things were just not working how I wanted them to. And that's just life. Like if we only show up to training and we only show up to business and our goals when things go perfectly, we're never really going to be consistent enough to see a good enough result. So what I like to do to not ruminate when things don't go to plan is I just think like, what can I do next? And I also just like give myself grace when things don't go to plan and just be like, did I try my best? What could I do differently next time? And then I just move on. If things don't go to plan, don't give up, just learn from it. It's never too late to try again, I promise. If you guys liked this type of video, let me know, and good night.